Sue's not here. All right, well, we're going to start because I owe it to all of you to start on time. Okay, so we are heading into, so we're on page 50 and 51 is where we'll be. We are going to learn the samach, which we need in order to learn, it's the last letter we need in order to learn the prayer Lecha Dodi. And there's Connie. Good morning, Connie.
Hi, everyone.
I'm just saying we're going to start on page 50 and we'll learn the samach, which will allow us to learn the prayer Lecha Dodi, which is on page 51. Lecha Dodi is the prayer that is said on Friday night specifically to welcome Shabbat. And it's a lovely poem, and it's the words are saying, welcome my bride, and all these beautiful things that you would think about. Your bride is your beloved, and all sorts of things, which is the, the metaphor for Shabbat. But first we must learn the letter samach. So on the top of page 50 is the samach, and the words that will appear in Lecha Dodi that use the samach are the three above the box with those two arrows, Nisucha, Sof, and Segula. So the samach, when I typed it in the Hebrew script that I have on my Apple, keyboard, as it were, it looks like an O, doesn't it? In the homework, it looks like an O. Here, he points out, well, I shouldn't say he, the cheat sheet that I gave you where it has the samach, the fourth row down, the right-hand side, that's the letter samach. They say it has this slice on the lower corner. I don't know why that's so important. Yes, when it's printed in certain versions, you definitely will see that slice. So I'm going to share my screen.
There's the slice.
And I'm going to show you. So can you see the Lecha Dodi on my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, is it big enough? You want me to make it any bigger?
No, it's big enough.
Okay, so let's take a look where the samach appears. So here, you see where I'm pointing? This word sof. This first letter is the samach. And I guess this corner is more angled, certainly, than this corner. It has a flat top, and then it has a scoopy bottom, is how I think of it, okay? Let's see if I can find, I think, whoop, I went too far. So,
Right there.
Here.
Third line from the
Here.
bottom, yeah.
Right, exactly. Yehesu. Yehesu. There's another one. Okay. I was looking for Segula, which, let's see if I can find it.
Well, it also has that sort of tail at the top.
It does, exactly. It has this little cowlick, I'll call it, up at the top, right? If it has flat hair, it's got a cowlick sticking up at the top, right? So,
it's interesting on the page that page 50.
Yeah.
I just noticed that the little cowlick at the top is on the same side as the dot in sin.
Very good. Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. So, according to the author of our book, he says the samach sounds like a double sin. Again, he's made these references before. It's a double something. I just, as an English speaker, I don't notice that. Certainly when I say the name of the letter, samach and sin, I kind of feel it. But when I read it, I don't feel it so much. But that's okay.
What does double sin mean?
So the letter sin, we have the shin and the sin. He's saying this has the quality of a double, so like somehow a stronger sin.
Stronger?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Now, you know, maybe a linguist or a dialect coach could parse that a bit for us, but I don't, when I say it, I don't necessarily notice it.
Well,
So-
I'm just, as you're saying this, I'm just thinking if we say the word sukkah,
Yeah.
we say, but if we say shin, we say sh. Maybe there's a little inflection difference in the suk.
So, but you'd have to, rather than shin, you have to say sin, right?
Okay, so sin is,
Yeah.
and the samach is,
Yeah, okay.
More air. I think there's more air coming out. in
Okay.
the breath.
All right. I'll buy that. Maybe the air is longer. Maybe it's you know what I mean? Like
mhm,
so that's the more air. All right, let's go with that. I like
who
that.
knows?
Thank you. Okay.
Sounds good
All
as
right.
any other.
Why not?
Yeah,
Which
well,
one has the more air?
the
which one?
samach, the new letter that we're
Oh,
just learning
oh.
today.
But is sukkah spelled with the 3 one or with the samach?
Well, so on line 8 here, you see the sukkah, right? It's the 3 dots underneath going off, right? From the up.
Okay.
So there's sukkah.
Well, that means sukkah.
I believe it does.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's start on, well, line 1, I'll read for you. Line 1 is just so simple, right? See, say, se, sa, so, su, s. Okay. And line 2, Eileen, will you read line 2?
So, su, sagula,
Yes,
so, sof,
exactly.
tu, nusu, nusuka.
Nusucha. So there's no dot in there. Nusucha. Very close. Very nice. Thank you very much. Linda, will you read line 3?
Segula. Segula.
Exactly. Do you mind doing line 4 since that one was very short?
Suf.
Sof. So the
sof.
dot on top is a O.
Sof, mala, she.
So here we go. So there's a mem. You have the mem, right? Then the ayin has no. There you go.
Ma'ashe.
So that's a sin because the dot is over on the left.
Ma'ashe.
Se. So this is a good example of, we have the samach for the word sof, and we have the sin for the ma'aseh.
It's stronger, the sof.
Yeah. Okay.
Then it's again sof ma'ashe.
Se, that's a sin again.
Okay, ma'aseh bema ha sof.
That one's the shin. So that's the shin with the dot on the right.
Bema ha sof. Bema asav.
So that again, that's a shin because the dot is over on the right. So b'mahashava.
Oh, b'mahashava. Okay. Tahila.
Exactly, tahila. So this is a phrase from Lechado D. Sof ma'aseh b'machashava tahila. Okay. Connie, will you do line 5?
The sukkah, mayosh.
So don't forget to pronounce the
Mayrosh.
resh.
Yeah, mayrosh.
There you go. Mikedem, you were right the first time.
Mikedem, nisukha.
Yes.
Sukkah.
Sucha, you were right the first time.
Right.
So this is another phrase from Lechado D. Merosh mikedem Nesucha. Okay. Line 6, Barbara. Oh, Barbara, you're muted. We can't hear. I'm sorry. You're doing so beautifully.
No, I promise it was perfect. No, no, there's a workman here. So
I understand.
Okay, let's start over.
What line are you on again?
6.
Thank you.
Nisi, Manos, Behunisi, Umanoho.
No, Umanos. You had that right.
Umanosli.
Right. Exactly. So this is a phrase not from the Chadodi, but Behunisi Umanosli from a Shabbat morning prayer. Audrey, will you do 7?
Yes. Ko, is that a ko? Oh, okay. Kosi, Manat, Kosi.
Yes, exactly.
I
Mary
love
Ellen,
that line.
Manat Kosi. Mary Ellen, that leaves line 8 for you.
Sukkah, Haporesh, Sukkah, Shalom.
Yes. So the middle word has a t at the end. Sukkot Shalom.
Sukkot. That's right.
Yes.
Sukkot
Yes.
Shalom.
I have a question. Hapo race?
Hapo race. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hapo race. Hapo race. Yes. I can't tell you what it means. I apologize. I don't know. Okay. He doesn't have translations of all his little phrases. And he doesn't have references either. So anyway, all right. So in the middle of the page is a chet, right? We learned this letter a long time ago. I'm not really sure why he thinks he has to revisit it. Clearly, you know it. We've been reading it for weeks and weeks, but that's all right. So we're going to keep going with line 9. Eileen, we're back to you.
Baribor.
Try again. Look, there's 2 dots. There's a shava under the bet.
2 dots.
So the first letter, the bet, just has 2 dots. B.
Oh, I'm saying it too loud. It's bri.
So it's a
for.
So it's a dalet. So it's a bet, a dalet.
Oh, okay. But
Okay.
I read it
Yes.
as a resh.
No, you the first time I think you read it as a dalet, but then you're right. You switched to resh, and now you got it right.
But dibor.
That's it.
Echad
Yes.
al ham yochad.
Except it's you. That's a vav with a dot in its middle. So it's a oo.
It's an oo. Ham yuchad.
Yes.
Adonai echad ushmo echad.
Very nice. So these are phrases from, again, Lechado D. I'm going to read it back.
Good.
B'dibor echad el hamyuchad Adonai echad ushmo echad. Okay? Linda, will you read line 10?
I have a different question.
Okay.
When I was doing some of the catch-up stuff, I wondered how many different abbreviations do we know for Adonai?
I've talked about 3.
All right.
Okay.
Right now, this one, yes. The other one is a yud yud.
Yud yud.
Okay.
And then yud he vav he.
Okay.
So, which I believe is what you see in most prayer books these days, is yud he vav he. He always uses, well, he mostly uses hey yud.
But I also saw in the pages I was going over the yud.
Double yud, right?
Yeah,
Double yud,
yeah,
yeah. But I think
yeah.
he more frequently uses the hey yud.
Okay.
But yes, there are three that it's
Okay.
it's in the homework. But yes, thank you for bringing that up. All right, Linda, I think, did you read already? Or are you about to read? I apologize.
You said B'maha shav.
So we're on line 10.
Right. B'maha shav shaha
Shava. It's a vet. B'macha shava.
Shava tehila ve'nisham.
Okay, so you need to remember that so the third letter here, you have the vav, the nun, and you have a sin. So that letter, when the dot is over on the left corner, it's a sin.
Ve'nishim.
So you're still saying a shin, not a sin.
Ve'nishim.
Okay, but we're going to break it down. So you have the vav with the shva, which is v. Then you have the nun with one dot, ni. And then you have the sin with the shva, vanis. There's no sound with that. Okay, vanis. Mecha. Perfect. Now you got it.
Vanis mecha. Nagila.
Yes. So I'll read this back on line 10. B'macha shava techila, v'nis mecha, v'nagila.
Yeah, the two S's confuse me.
That's why we're going to practice. It's okay. Okay, so now we're at line 11. Connie, will you read line 11?
Hadash, Shir, Hadash, or Hadash.
Very nice. Excellent.
Do you know what Hadash means, since it sounds like Hadassah, kind of?
Actually, to me, it sounds more like Chodesh.
Oh, you're right.
Hadassah starts with a hey. This is a chet. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to do line 12. Barbara, will you do line 12?
Yifra.
Nice. Yeah.
Sadiq. Khatamar. Yifra.
Yes, exactly.
Yifra.
Sadiq, Khatamar, Yifrach. That's again from a Shabbat song. Audrey, line 13.
Chai.
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 Means life.
Chaim. Lachaim.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a haim?
Yes. Yes. Okay. No. Haim.
Chayenu.
Chayenu.
Chayenu. Shehecheyanu.
Perfect. You figured that out. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to read these back because I want to bring up a point here. So line 13. Chai, Chayim, Lechayim, Haim, Chayenu, Shehecheyanu. Okay, so this is a really good example. We have all these mems going on, don't we? The second word, Chayim and Lechayim, and then we have Haim. And if you look at those mems, and then you look at the samach at the top of the page, that's where you see the bottom is more rounded on the samach than the mem, right? The top of the letters are really the same, but the bottom is where you get this rounded part. Okay, and think of an S, like the S is rounded on the bottom. Okay. Okay, that brings us to line 14. Mary Ellen.
Shehekianu. Vikiyamanu. Vahigianu. Lazman Hazeh.
Perfect. Beautiful. All right. Okay, so now we're going to get started with.
I have a question again, if you don't mind.
All right.
The first word in line 14,
So it's actually, so that's the,
Yeah.
so the first, so you have the shin, then you have a hey, then you have a chet. So it's shehecheyanu. Shehecheyanu. You see the he, he.
Yeah.
The first one is open as a H. The second one is more of a CH.
Okay. Sheche.
So
Yani.
the first, so she, that's that first he.
Yeah.
After the shin, it's an H.
Sheche. Soft.
Soft.
Okay.
And you got the guttural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay. Because of the schwa under there.
Oh, so the schwa under the third letter with also the other vowel, I think that's there for emphasis purposes, exactly.
Because we run into it a couple times on this page, I think.
Yeah. So shehecheyanu. So I would put the emphasis on that letter and vowel.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Okay. So let's talk about Lachadodi. I'm just curious, are many of you familiar with the song Lachadodi from Friday night services? You got 2 heads, 3 heads, yes?
Familiar, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. So believe it or not, Mary Ellen is the least familiar. That's our anomaly today because she's just not a Friday night service goer. She's a Shabbat and Chag service goer. I get it. That's because Larry won't let you drive and you have to walk and it's dark on Friday when you're leaving. Yes. So
but in the summertime, you can go. You have late.
It's okay. I always, for me, it was a treat going to Friday night services. We lived pretty far from Shul. And so we lived in suburban Maryland. The synagogue was in the District of Columbia. And I don't think my parents liked going into the district at night. Shabbos morning, of course, we were always there, but Friday night, no, we didn't really go. When they moved north to, the suburbs, then Friday night services was a different situation, but I was much older and wasn't around much. Anyway, okay, so Lachadodi means come, my beloved.
I'm very talkative this morning now that the workman is upstairs. But I grew up back to back with the synagogue, but there was a little bit of, our yard and woods. So Friday nights, we weren't allowed to walk through the woods because the kids would go. But Saturday morning, we were allowed to walk through the woods. And I think that was the only thing that got us to go to Saturday morning services when we were kids, just because, let's go through the woods to get there.
Whatever it takes.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so as I was saying, let's go to the bottom of the page, the second half of the page, where he has matching ideas, and I will tell you what some of this means, and then we'll go into reading it, okay? Because he really wants you to get a sense of the prayer. So line 1, Lecha Dodi, and then on the left side, Lechu v'nel chal. So Lecha Dodi means come, my beloved. Lechu v'nel chal means come and we'll go. Lechu v'nel chal, we'll go. Line 2, Likrat kala, Likrat Shabbat. So Likrat kala is welcome bride. Likrat Shabbat, welcome Shabbat. Line 3, Dibor Echad El Meyuchad. So Dibor Echad is one saying, Echad being one, Dibor from Diber, so one saying, El Meyuchad, a unifying God. I don't know, El being God, and Meyuchad, I don't know the root there. Line 4, Chai Echad, again, one God, Ushmo Echad, whose name is one. So I'm sorry, Adonai Echad, I'm reading the literal. Adonai Echad, line 4, Adonai Echad, Ushmo Echad. God is one, his name is one. Line 5, v'nismecha v'nagila, v'simcha uvtsahala. So v'nismecha v'nagila, we will rejoice and sing. V'simcha uvtsahala, in joy, jubilation. Line 6, boi chala, enter my bride, or come in, right? And at the end of the song, you turn around, or you, depending on how you're standing, and in our shul, the ark is opposite the door. So you start out by facing the ark, and then when you get to the end and you say boi chala, you turn around and you face the door to welcome the concept of welcoming Shabbat in through that door. Okay, so let's start.
You bow also?
Yes, you do bow as well, which I don't really like bowing. I have to be honest with you. I think that's quite the holdover from bygone days. So I apologize for my personal little statement there.
And could I please ask one on line 3, the second column, the first, so is El, you said El, is El God?
El, yes. In this case, El, I think, is a reference to God.
And okay. So G-O-D is different from the, I mean, in English.
Adonai, you know.
Different from the name of God? I'm trying to understand.
I think that's probably right. Yes, okay. There are different ways to refer, and yes, the name of God being that word that we don't know how to pronounce, that we have different ways, you know, we have different ways of spelling, but we say Adonai, right? And then here, yes, El is another reference to God, okay, but not his name, I believe.
And you said, what I hear people say, and I thought you said just now, sounds like El as in Spanish, El, I don't know, El Coche or something. Actually, I think that's law, but forget me. But to me, it looks like ale like the beer.
It is ale like the beer.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This seems like the first time that the author is doing something, like giving us practice. He's giving ideas here. He's never done that before. Because he has non-words in the past also.
Well, so, I mean, we talked about the meaning of the Shema, right? I didn't go, so he doesn't do it for Shalom Aleichem. Well, I don't think I didn't go into great detail about the meaning of Shalom Aleichem, the song. So we talked about some of the brachot that we've done. So we talked about, but you know, they were smaller and simpler. And Lecha Dodi is a really long poem. I mean, he leaves out 5 verses on the next page. It's a very long poem. So it's 1, 2, 7, 8. It's at least 9 paragraphs. So there's a lot of concepts going on in there.
Okay.
And since he doesn't give us all of them, you know, he wants us, he thinks we get the real meaning of it here, which I tend to agree with him.
That's fine. I'm not against it. I'm just saying this seems like something different than he's done.
Well, it's also, I was trying to keep the focus really on the Aleph Bet and the vowels and pronunciations before. Now you're advanced enough that I think we can spend a little time on the concept as well. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I know going into this that there's a lot of material in this book and we don't have a lot of weeks. I don't know how frequently this book was meant to be taught, you know, whether it was multiple times a week or when Women's League started, they were doing, as I mentioned to you, every other week. I don't know how you can learn this language every other week. Yeah. When I was, you know, certainly they teach Hebrew school kids, we get Hebrew twice a week. And then technically we're focusing on not Hebrew on the third, you know, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, or Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever. 2 days were supposed to be all Hebrew. The other was more all kinds of things. But frankly, even that day, you still ended up looking at Hebrew. You just weren't focused on the Hebrew. And then if you went to shul, right? So that was like 4 days a week. Your head was in a book that had Hebrew letters in it. And that was good. When I took an Ulpan class, you were there every day, 5 days a week, right? You were just drilling that stuff. And that's how you need to learn a language, right? I feel this is an indulgence for us to talk about it in English, honestly. But what are you going to do?
It's not a critique on my part, by the way.
I'm sorry?
This is not a critique.
It was an observation. It was just.
I understand. I understand. Hi, Marjorie. Welcome. We're on page 51.
I don't know how long I can stay, but I'll stay as long as I can.
It's okay. We're happy to have you. We're on page 51.
Okay, let me get there.
Okay, and we're going to start reading phrases from the Chadodi. And I don't have to call on you. You can just listen along, okay?
Very much, because I may have to hang up suddenly.
I get it. Okay, so Eileen, if you don't mind, will you read the first 2 lines at the top of 51? So it's only 4 words.
On the top?
On the top of 51, yeah.
It says rhymes.
Rhymes, exactly, yes.
Okay. Chala.
So there's a dot in there, so it's a k.
Kala.
Yes.
Vogil cha.
Okay, you got the latter part of the word right. The second letter is a nun, not a gimel.
I constantly ruin those two.
It's okay. That's why you have me to help you remember. So, and it has 2 dots and A under it. Okay, under the nun.
Vanel.
Yes.
Vanelcha.
Perfect.
Nakabala.
Yes.
Habracha.
Yes. All right. So I'll repeat. Kala v'nelcha nikabla habracha. Okay. The next 2 lines. Linda, will you do those?
Valit hila na sucha.
Yes.
Tehila tehifrosi.
Okay, I'll read them back. Valit hila nisucha tehila tifrotzi. All right, the next 2 lines, Connie?
Nagila ta'aritzi.
That does not rhyme.
I didn't think many.
I guess they rhyme down, not across. Maybe I'm having you read it wrong. Maybe we should be reading. Okay, here we go. I'm an idiot.
I could never find
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they all end in the first end in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to switch what we're doing. Okay, Connie, you're going to read down. So read the middle 3 words going down.
So starting with Vanagila, Kala.
Okay, except that's a chala. There's no dot.
Chala.
Yes.
Chala.
Right.
Nechad.
So, okay.
Echad.
Right. Okay. So that's the next. So do the last 3 together. Do echad and the 2 below it now.
Echad, hamyuchad, echad.
Perfect. Okay. So I apologize. I'm an idiot, and I always read across, and I should have been reading down.
No,
okay.
You're not an idiot.
Barbara, I did the same practicing, and I couldn't figure out where the rhymes were.
You know, obviously his mind works a little differently than ours. Okay.
I just sang it.
Good. All right. Well, we haven't sung it. Barbara, will you read on the left-hand side the 3 letters that are the middle 3?
Okay. Tifrotzi, starting with that one.
Exactly.
Tifrotzi, ta Ritzi.
Yes.
Ken Partsi.
Exactly. So it's Tifrutsi, Ta'aritsi, Ben Partsi. Perfect. Okay. Audrey, would you read the three that are the lower left three?
Is there any sound there?
Nope.
Okay. Bala.
Mm-hmm.
Utsahala.
Utsahala. Right. Utsahala. So we're going to put the emphasis on the hey there.
Utsahala. Segula.
Exactly. So Bala, Utsahala, Segula. Exactly. Okay. So now I know I read these matching ideas to you, but we're going to read them anyway. So Mary Ellen, you're muted, but will you read line 1 for us across?
Laka dodi. Laku vine lika.
So the nun and the lamed are going to go together like your nail.
Vinail.
Vinail ha.
Ka.
Yeah. Vinail
Vinail
ha.
ka.
Yeah. So lechado di lechu vinail ha. Yes. Eileen, will you read line 2?
Ligrat, kala.
Yeah.
Ligrat, Shabbat.
Exactly. Likrat kala, likrat Shabbat. Linda, line 3.
Dibor, echad, achad,
Echad. Yeah, it ends with a D
echad.
sound. Echad means
Echad.
one. Yeah.
El uchad.
Okay, so the yud here is going to sound like a Y. Ham yuchad.
Ham yuchad.
Exactly. So dibor echad el ham yuchad. Okay, line 4, Connie, this one is pretty easy.
Oh, do you want me to read that again?
Yes, oh, Connie, you're muted. There we go.
Adonai echad, ufshmo echad.
Perfect, beautiful, thank you. Barbara, will you do 5?
Vinismacha. V'nagila.
Beautiful.
V'simcha. Uv'sahala.
Very nice. Good job. Yeah. V'nismacha v'nagila v'simcha uv'tzahala. Lovely. Audrey 6.
Boi, kala.
So that's a ha. There's no dot in that. You see it?
Yeah. Oh. Kala.
It's chala, not kala. Sometimes it's kala, like in line 2, it's kala.
Oh, hala.
Line 6, it's chala.
Okay. Hala. Hala. I was not getting that.
Yes,
Sorry.
that's okay.
I mean, really didn't get that. So it wasn't just a little mistake, it was a big mistake. Boi, kala, hala.
Right, so boi chala. Okay.
Are we welcoming the bread at that point?
I still think it's fried. Yes, the Eileen.
I think line 5 solves my problem. You see the nun next to the gimel.
Yes.
I think that
Nagila. Right. So the nun has a nice flat bottom.
Straighter. It's straight.
And the gimel has that little notch out of it.
Right.
Right.
Okay. That's because I always mix them up. Now I think that's clearer seeing them together.
Yeah. Okay, good. So for me, like the gimel, it's like a high heel. Girls wear high heels.
Yeah.
Girls wear high heels, right? So that's why I get a G out of it. I don't know. Okay.
I mean, you know how you can study that one is get a dreidel out.
That's right too. Nes, gadol, haya,
Sham.
and then you got either the sham or the po, depending. But yes.
I think it depends so much in our case on the print, because, especially because I'm looking at I'm looking at what you emailed us.
Yeah.
In half the screen. So it's like not much. It's not very clear.
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay, so page 52 are the verses that he has us focus on. But maybe it'll help if I share my screen again, because I have a better version, I think, in terms of clarity. Can you guys see this pretty well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Oh, went too far. So those of you who know Debbie Lempert made these slides. She's a co-chair of Makom B'Yahad and other prayers, other services for Women's League. Tefillot as well. Anyway, so when she started teaching,
Rachel?
Yes.
Did you get the notice about?
I did. Her dad passing away. I did think.
Her dad passing away. Okay, just want to make sure.
But I wanted to give her credit for the beautiful slides that she created. So she started teaching the advanced beginner class last year, and we didn't have a book for it. So she made a beautiful slide deck, and this is from her slide deck. So, but I think it's easier to see than our book because the print is so clear. Do you guys agree with me?
It's good.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's bolder.
Right. And it's crisp. And all the vowels are really nice and crisp, which on my version of the book is not necessarily the case.
But one more quick question. Did all you guys go out and buy the book? Because I think I'm the only one who doesn't have a book.
No, you're not.
I don't have a book.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary Ellen has the book.
I have the book.
I have the book.
Okay.
I have the book too.
It's much easier. Yeah, it's easier.
Much easier with the book.
Yeah.
And where did you get it?
Online.
I got it on Amazon, but right now the prices are through the roof.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even half price books, or I haven't been able to find it. I think this was like $15 maybe. Now it's like 50 or something. It's
it had been up to 30 some. I don't know if it came down again. Yeah, it's expensive.
I got it at about
Things have gone
20.
nuts.
Yeah, and it's the book is marked at $4.50. So we really are paying up for it.
Well, I have a suggestion. If Women's League would send out an email, put something in their weekly blurbs, Rachel, if anybody has a book that they'd like to give to someone or sell.
Okay. That's a good idea. I will ask that.
That they're no longer using.
Yeah. Excellent idea.
What are we doing in the next session? Are we keeping the same book or are we moving on?
No, so my hope is that if you guys continue with me over what we'll call winter break, in other words, between our class and the spring semester starting, we should complete this book and then you will move on. So I may buy the book off of Mary Ellen so that I'll have it since she's going to.
Mary Ellen may need to keep this book. No, Mary Ellen will need to keep this book.
Well, in that case, if because I probably missed it. You probably said, where we could get the book or that we should get the book. But if we have a book for the next session, that would be great.
Well, so I don't think so. The book for the next, let me go back. This author has a second book. None of the teachers, as I understand it, likes his book. So I don't know what the curriculum is for the advanced beginner class. As I say, Debbie came up with a curriculum. Interestingly, it repeats some of what we're learning because Lecha Dodi she has right here. I think it's her third prayer. I think she starts with Baruch Hu, then she does the Shema and the V'ahavta. Then she gets to B'Shamru, and then she gets to Lecha Dodi. Okay, so there's some repetition. And since there's usually a break between the semesters, that's probably a good thing. In your case, I hope there's no break between semesters. I hope you'll just keep going. Okay, So,
Okay.
Marjorie, I'm just curious, the tune that you use for Lecha Dodi, will you give me a little bit?
Lecha Dodi, Lecha. Oh,
Okay,
God.
so
Yeah, that's
I
it.
think I was taught Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala Pune Shabbat Nikabla. Does anyone know that tune?
No, we're more
No.
like Marjorie, but our Chazan is pretty inventive, so she changes things up a lot.
Okay, well, and I know.
Well, I'm doing my Hebrew school.
Yeah, you do it very well.
No
Actually.
matter what the Chazan is doing, in my head, I am hearing the tune of my youth.
I know another tune. Hold on, let me think of it. Shamor Zachor Dibor Echad Ishmi Anu El Hamyukad Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad L'Shem Tiferet V'Li Tehila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala So that's what I learned as a very small person.
That's the one
Yeah, that's the one I learned in college.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, so all right, let's just get into it and read. I have no idea where I was on who was reading. Mary Ellen, will you do this first line?
Oh, bless your heart. Is that the title, the first line?
No, we're skipping Lecha Dodi, the title. You're reading the line
okay.
below.
All right. I'm going between the book and the online because my eyes are really bad.
Whichever is best for you.
Okay. Shema.
No, not that. The line above that.
Okay.
Oh, so it's the refrain. So it is
that's what I said, the first line.
Oh, I apologize.
Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pene Shabbat Nikabala.
Right, Nikabla. Yes, you said it right, but I just moved your emphasis. Exactly,
Nikabla. Okay.
Perfect, exactly. So Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pene Shabbat Nikabla. Okay, perfect, beautiful.
Thanks.
You're so welcome. Audrey, would you read the next line?
I knew you were gonna, because I have trouble with the second letter of the second word, but Shamor.
Mm-hmm.
But is it a
This is a Daled.
That's a Daled?
No, that's a Zion. I apologize.
No.
That's a Zion. I so apologize.
That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't
This
sure.
is a Dalet. This is a Zion.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Zion the Zion has a very narrow top as opposed to the Dalet, which has this big honking top, right?
I thought so I pronounced it as a Zion, but I just it doesn't look like the other Zion in our book too much. But
I actually think it's just a little less curvy. It's a straighter version of the Zion in our book.
Okay. That's a core.
Chor. It's a yes. It's a chor. Yes.
But badi, bur.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Echad.
There's an here.
Echad. Echad. I should know that.
Yes.
Echad.
So Shamor, B'Zachor, V'Dibor, Echad. Good. All right. God, you guys keep moving around on my screen. You're jumping all over the place. It's well, Connie, your face is next, so please read the next line.
Ishmiyanu al
El. So this is where we decide it's El.
El Hamyuchad.
Yes, exactly. Hishmianu El Hamyuchad. Excellent. Eileen, will you read now?
Is that Adonai?
It is Adonai, exactly.
Adonai echad ushmo echad.
Beautiful, very nice. Linda, will you read this last line in this stanza?
L'shem ulit fa.
Okay, so
Utiferet.
yes, beautiful.
Valid hila.
Yes.
Vahitla. Vahilitla.
Valit hila. Yes, you do it right, but you don't trust yourself. So
you're right.
L'shem ultif eret valit hila. Okay, and then we have the refrain. L'chadodi likrat kala. Excellent. Okay, so I think this is the next verse in your book. It is. It starts with Likrat. And Barbara, I think you're up.
Likrat, Shabbat, Lehu, B'nelcha.
Yes, very nice. Likrat, Shabbat, Lehu, B'nelcha. Okay.
It would be a lot faster if I just sang it, but I'm trying not to do that.
Well, so that's going to be the challenge for you guys, is your eyes reading it correctly while you're not singing it, right? This is the issue we've had in the past, that you know something, but are you actually saying the words exactly as they're written?
No.
That's the challenge, right? Okay. All right, so we're here on the second line of the second stanza. And honestly, since your faces keep moving on my screen, I'm just, Eileen, will you read?
He, Makur, Habrava.
Ha.
Habracha.
Thank you. Right. Ki, he, Makor, habracha. Exactly. Okay. Linda, will you read the next line?
Merosh mi kadosh get mi kadesh mi kedem.
Mikedem, yes.
Mikedem. Neshuva.
Okay, so this is the samach that we just learned.
Nesheva. Neshev. No.
This is a u.
Neshuva.
So this is a cha, right? Nesucha.
Oh, ha.
Nesucha, right? Okay, there's no dot here, so it's not ka, it's cha. The chaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're here with the samach at the beginning of the line. Barbara, will you read this line?
So, ma'aseh, b'macha shabbat.
Yes.
Tehillah.
La.
Oh, tehillah.
Very nice. Yes. Sof ma'aseh b'machashava tehillah. And then we have the refrain. L'chadodi likrat kala p'nei shabbat nekabel. Okay, now our book skips a bunch of verses. Hold on, I gotta figure out where we go. Here we go. Yamin. You see it right here? That's where he skips, I think, 5 verses. So we get to here. I apologize. I don't know who's next. How about Mary Ellen? Will you read right here?
Oh, sure. Yamin. Yamin. Usmol.
Perfect.
Usmol. Tifrotse. Tifrotse.
Exactly. Yes. Yamin usmol tifrotse. Very good. Okay.
But wait, what's
Yes.
underneath the resh? Because it's got an O, but there's something underneath it also.
Nothing. There's nothing under it.
So
Not on my book.
in our book, there's no shva. So this is gone. And I don't know why there'd be a shva here because the vowel is above on the upper left corner. So I don't know what this, again, this might be an accent mark, tifrotzi, but the vowel that you pronounce is up here, this O. Okay. Okay. So Audrey, why don't you read the next line?
The et. Adonai.
Yes, ma'am.
Good guess. Ta'aritzi.
Yes.
Good guess.
So et Adonai ta'aritzi. That's the line. Okay, thank you. Connie, will you read the next line?
Al yad ish en part C.
Beautiful. Al yad ish ben parts E. And the last line, who haven't I? Marjorie, do you want to read or no?
I'm listening, but
that's fine. I just didn't want you to feel left out.
I'm not left out. I'm listening carefully, but my fingers are doing something else.
That's fair enough. Okay.
Sunday
so
can't come soon enough.
Will you read the last line of this stanza?
Banis mocha.
Yes.
But here's the double letters. Is that a single dot under the gimel?
It's a single dot.
Okay. Vanagila.
Perfect. Now the nun, the gimel, you did them perfectly. Vanismecha vanagila. Perfect.
I think I have that now.
You've got exactly. Okay, so we have 1 minute. So we're going to jump to the last paragraph where it says we rise and turn toward the door, right? And Mary Ellen, will you read the first line?
Bo'i vishalom teret.
Yes.
Ba'ala.
So I think here.
Ba'ala.
Bala, exactly. You corrected yourself. So Bo'i vishalom ateret bala. Okay. Audrey, will you read this line, the second line?
Yes. Gam basim ha.
Yes.
Ha. Okay. Ubtsa hala. Ubtsa.
Gam besimcha ubtsahala. You did it perfectly. And I do not know why this dot is in the middle of that gimel. We're going to not pay any attention to it.
I clearly ignored it because I had no clue.
Don't worry about it. Audrey, will you read the next line?
Again? Okay, sure.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I meant Connie. I'm looking at you, so I said your name, but I meant Connie, who's sitting right below you on my screen.
Oh, wow. She's diagonal at the other end from me.
Yeah, they move all over. You guys keep skipping up and down. It's driving me nuts.
I wonder why.
Boch emune am segula.
Beautiful. Toch emune am segula. Beautiful. All right. And the last line, Barbara, will you read it?
Bo'i chala, bo'i chala.
Beautiful. Bo'i chala, bo'i chala. Okay. So that's the Chadodi. I was thinking about sharing this version that I found, but I have to double check how many verses they do. And I don't want to confuse you since you don't have all the verses in the book. And that could be very confusing. So I may or may not share that with you. But it sounds like most of you know parts of this prayer. So if you can, so we'll leave it at that. Next Friday, we're going to pick up with Unit 8, and we're going to learn Kaddish, which, you know, is Aramaic. It's not Hebrew, but it's written in Hebrew letters. So it's, of course, and it's said so many times in every service we all attend. It's very important. And you're going to find that the words you're going to read may not be the words you've been saying and hearing people around you say. I'm just warning you. You're going to tell me that. You don't have to tell me. It's so true.
I think it's brain-mouth connection.
Yeah. But also there's a lot of people mispronouncing these words. And
I'm
that's
so glad we're doing this, though, that I really wanted to learn it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So, and it's a tongue twister. So just putting it out there for you. And if any of you has a recording that maybe someone from your shul has posted and you think it's good, you know, share it with me. I'll take a look and we'll find one that we think. I have one that I can share with you that I think is very good. So, but I won't share it yet. Technically, next week is supposed to be our last class, but as I said last week, I'm happy to keep chugging along. I'm happy to keep going through this book, teaching it to you until hopefully we finish it right before whatever that date is in February, when you guys have to go on to the next class. Yes? Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm going to try to remember to put the link for class in when I send you the link for the Zoom video, so you guys don't have to go searching. But if any of you haven't figured this out yet, when you open your Zoom, if you click on join, there's a little arrow and it'll give you a drop-down screen and it should say Hebrew class. So you'll find out when you try it. I can't remember if it says Friday Hebrew. I don't remember what it's called, but it says Hebrew class, at least on mine. Okay.
Thank you very much.